Professional Visa and Education Services, your immigration lawyer and Mara agent since 2015. Today, I just want to talk about the New South Wales nomination criteria for 190 and 491. Again, this is something that the state government has provided the information through the MIA program. Now, in relation to the changes and my logic or opinion around this, I just want to shed some light. So the biggest thing that's going to change this year is about the skill assessment definition. So the employment skill assessment criteria will follow the same as Department of Home Affairs criteria. Now, those ones who are not familiar with this, until now, there was a little bit of anomalies in terms of how state government, New South Wales government, deemed you as working at your required nominated occupation or closely related occupation versus Department of Home Affairs legislative requirements had a bit of a mismatch, and the state government New South Wales especially had its own ways of deeming employment assessment, and I'm sure those ones who's been impacted by these particular changes in the past must had their nomination refused because the definition of the skill employment was a little bit different as compared to Department of Home Affairs. Now that they will align this, so which is a fantastic news, because then we only have to worry about what Department of Home Affairs deems you as working at the required level, and we'll follow the similar rules around nomination criteria, which is applying for the nomination application too. Now, especially there are some changes in terms of 491 pathways. Now, previously as well, we had Pathway 1, Pathway 2. Now, this time there will be Pathway 1, Pathway 2, and Pathway 3. So the addition is obviously the graduate stream. So with the graduate stream pathway, the graduate pathway, recent graduates who have studied in regional New South Wales in an eligible occupation can apply for the nomination. So the more news in relation to this part, more granular news around this part is yet to come out. But it's a great news for those ones who's actually graduated from New South Wales regional area. Now, with the 491 Pathway 1, the biggest game changer is TISM. Now, obviously, with the regional employer, it is particularly challenging for the regional employer to pay the employee at the TISM salary rate. So with these particular changes that with the New South Wales government's, there's going to be some concessions available around TISM. Now, just to give an example, what the TISM salary doesn't have to be throughout the period of your employment. It could be just the recent one as well, which could demonstrate that you have the capacity and you are getting the payment that will satisfy the TISM rate. So it doesn't have to be the entire period. Now, which is in a way good news for those ones who's actually working in the nominated occupation or closely related occupation. And in relation to 190 New South Wales, there will be a new skill list for subclass 190 and regional New South Wales skill list, and it will be divided into unit groups. So I'm not sure if you are aware about this, but then again, going back 2 years ago, we had the unit groups, and we also had the ROI, which is registration of interest with the New South Wales government. As of now, there is no indication there will be ROI, but the unit group might be back, which is obviously the unit group of a certain occupation will be deemed as a priority occupation. And based on that, the invitation round will happen. So up until now, in terms of hierarchy of who will be selected, all we know at the moment is the priority occupation will be selected first for 190 purpose. With the 491 Pathway 1 is the most proactive method. So you don't have to wait for New South Wales government to invite you. As long as you fulfill the criteria of Pathway 1, you can apply for nomination application straight away with state government. Now, this will be the most effective, most proactive pathway for New South Wales regional applicants in order to secure their 491 applications. Now, we'll be back again with more news. This is just a snapshot of the summary of changes that might come 2020-2025 for the New South Wales state. But once we have more news, more official news, and by the time we get the proper news published in the New South Wales government website. There might be a few changes again based on the industry consultation, but up until now, it is looking very welcoming, because the amount of the numbers that New South Wales government has is also significant compared to last year. So we hope that you guys will be selected this time if you are the eligible candidate for 491 and 190 nomination